Hey everyone. So, if you're a small business in Ireland that doesn't use an external payroll software, one of your worries going into this year may be revenue's new enhanced reporting requirements. For anyone that doesn't know what that is, all employers are now required to basically submit any expenses they reimburse to employees, whether it be vouched, unvouched, travel, subsistence, and also the daily working from home allowances and gift vouchers. So if you reimburse employees or pay any of those allowances or gift vouchers, you now need to report to revenue on or before the date of any of if all of the of actually all of those payments. So again, if you're a small business that isn't using a payroll software, you may not have this data readily available to populate, and it may take some time to gather it, whether it be fortnightly or monthly. You may have quite a few employees. So what we done recently for a client was we digitalized the full expense submission process, and part of it allowed us to. We were using a Microsoft form to basically extract the data, and then we were actually connecting that to Power BI. So when it comes to submitting that data into Ross on the revenue website, all that is required is go to your Power BI report, filter for each employee, and the data is actually readily available in front of you. And what some small companies might be finding they're having to do is, if they don't have a process like that in place, they may be just going to searching through each of the forms that were approved throughout the 2 weeks or the month. And that can be quite time consuming and definitely quite manual. So just want to show how the Microsoft Power BI report looks. Not going to spend too much time on the actual process. I'm going to create a separate video where I actually go through how we built it and the tools we used. But yeah, just going to go through the Power BI report now and show you how you can take advantage of Power BI.
So I'll start off with the actual revenue website. So where do you need to go if you don't know to update this? So you'll see a new section in here, expenses benefits, and you submit expenses/benefits. You complete the form online here, tax year 2024. I need to input some data here, which I'm going to obviously blur out for confidentiality reasons. You won't have to do this each time. You'll only have to do it once for each employee, and then they'll show up in the list of employees. So I'll enter all of this in. Okay, so then we click next. Then down here, this is where you enter in the data. So you see here, expense/benefits details. So pick your category first. So the three that I mentioned, travel and subsistence, remote working, and small benefit exemption, which is your vouchers. So if we pick travel and subsistence here, let's pretend we're entering in this data. We have a new category here then where we say, is it vouched or is it unvouched? Is it travel, subsistence, site-based employees, emergency travel, or eating on site? And then your amount and your date of payment. So you can imagine now, if you are, a smaller business, and it doesn't have to be a small business, but more than likely, if you're still doing processes using, forms in terms of like Microsoft Word forms, then more than likely this process will definitely be suited to you. So if you are using the Power BI report, the way it works is, let's say you go in here and you're filling this out. You can just go to the page of the Power BI report that will show you all of the data you need. So we have 2 pages. I'll show the first page in a second, but I'm going to create a separate video to go through how that whole process is created using a combination of Microsoft Forms, SharePoint, and Power BI. But for this example, this page only looks at approved expenses because that's essentially the data that we need to input into the ROS. So you filter here so I just input some test data here for myself. The month is January, so I'll just select here. And you can see straight away you have a breakout of how much did you spend on travel. €10. Was it vouched or unvouched? That automatically picks up. If you select vouch, it'll show vouch. If you select unvouched, it will show unvouched. If you have more than one journey, the second journey will show up here, and you can add more if required. Subsistence as well. Is it vouched? Is it unvouched? So you can literally just go here, filter for your relative information. If I unfilter here, you'll see some other entries in here as well. I have a couple of other ones there. And if you select, let's say if we want to select this one here, you can see other data would show up there depending on which employees are entered. So you can hopefully see the benefit there. Obviously, inputting the data into ROS, there's no way, unless you have a payroll software, that's still going to be manual. But the whole purpose of this is just to essentially speed up having the data readily available at your fingertips to then input into ROS. So not having to go through, look for approved forms, whether they're saved down in folders or going through emails. This, you can imagine if you have upwards of 10 employees, and if you're doing this weekly or fortnightly, hopefully you would be able to see how much time could be saved by literally just connecting all this data from forms to SharePoint to Power BI, and then literally this is at your fingertips as and when you need to input that data. If I go to the first page of the report here, again, I'll go through this on a separate video, but essentially this one here is used for the approver. So the whole purpose of this one is to speed up their time as well. And you can see here, these 3 boxes here, they check whether the person that is submitting the expense, have they used the correct rate? Has it multiplied correctly? Have they used the correct distance of the journeys? Has all of the claim summed up correctly? So you have a subsistence part of the claim, you have a travel part of the claim, and then you can have anything else. You have all of those have to sum up to equal the total claim amount. So Power BI does all of those calculations for the approver. So as an approver, if you're coming in here and you're looking, I just did another test one here for myself. You can see here that, okay, is the claim summed up correctly? It's telling me no. So automatically here as an approver, I know straight away, okay, I need to reject this, and I know why it's not summing up correctly. So again, saving time for the approver. You can see here that the person inputted the only one travel journey, and it was vouched, and it was Carrick, Macross, Monaghan, purpose of the trip, and you can see here the breakout of the data that they inputted. Also, another benefit here, you can actually access receipts as well on Power BI. So if you click here, open image in new tab, again, saving time for the approver, he or she can go in, look at the receipt and come back and say, okay, does this match the input that was the employee actually input to claim for? So I'm going to go through this page in more detail, again, on a separate video, more going into the full process, again, using Microsoft Forms, also approvals within Teams, SharePoint, and then finally Power BI.